Hey, Moto22 here with my carrier guide. I'd like to show you how I strafe, torpedo, and bomb people. I'd also like to show you the basic strategy for carrier sniping. If this is your first time playing a carrier, you hold Alt to use your manual attacks. You always want to use manual attacks for torpedo planes. It's the most effective way to kill someone. I like to use manual bomb drops for battleships and auto attack for destroyers. In this first clip, I get to strafe an enemy carrier's planes really well. Earlier, I chased his group back to his carrier where he tried to land them. Strafing will hit all enemy squadrons just in front of your fighter squadron as they go down their lane. The best strafe that you can do is from directly behind the enemy planes. The second strafe I ended up missing, but that's okay. I tried to save this guy from being bombed, however I was a little bit too late. I put the strafe on the right side of this ship because I knew the bombers would go back right toward their carrier after dropping their bombs. Again, strafing from the rear will do the most damage to planes, however, only if they're in range of your fighters. In this clip, I only hit the torpedo planes towards the end of my strafe. When dropping torpedoes, you want to aim just a little in front of the enemy ship, depending on how fast he's going. Notice how close my torpedoes are when dropped next to this cruiser. They arm just before hitting him. In this clip, I get to strafe the enemy planes more. So you might be thinking, how do I avoid a strafe from an enemy carrier? It's pretty easy. If you know the enemy carrier strafes a lot, when he gets close to your planes, do a 90-degree turn. Notice how I adjust the strafe in order to be closer to the enemy planes. I should have aimed this strafe a little bit further up to include the second squadron. He could have avoided this strafe by splitting up his planes. Next, I'll explain the basic strategy for killing an enemy carrier. I didn't really intend to kill this carrier, however I noticed he was all by himself. I noticed his planes were just idling in a circle. If his fighters were actively trying to attack me, I would have had my fighters go in to intercept them to tie them up. So now that his fighters are tied up, I send in one squadron to cause flooding, or to start fires depending on the carrier that you're playing. Now that he's flooding, he has two options: to flood for 2 minutes, or to use his damage control party. Watch for the enemy carrier's health for the ticks of damage to continue. When they stop, wait 5 seconds for the damage control party to expire, then hit him again. The angle of your strafe will affect how much damage you do to your enemies. At best, you want to be directly behind the enemy planes, so that way they fly forward as you're strafing them. However, with multiple squadrons, any strafe that includes all the squadrons is the best. Strafing does damage to friendlies also, so only use it when you have to.
Group 3, awaiting instructions. Group 3, returning to ship. Group 2, awaiting instructions. Group 4, we're under attack. Group 4, approaching target. Group 5, engaging enemy. Group 4, returning to ship.
Enemy battleship foundered.
This is just another example of adjusting the strafe to include planes for as long as possible.
Group 2, approaching target. Group 2, target destroyed.
Killing off low health ships is just basic strategy for this game. In this clip I try to get a double strike.
Group 4, taking fire. Group 4, engaging enemy. Group 5, we're under attack.
I told my planes to drop too close, so they had to do a 360 to drop the torpedoes where I told them. However, that would miss this ship.
Enemy cruiser foundered.
I had them fly a little further away to try again.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
Group 5, returning to ship.
Waypoint reached.
Group 3, standing by for instructions. Over.
Like I said earlier, you want to strafe while behind enemy planes. However, if the strafe includes multiple squadrons, it's worth it. Notice how I only killed 2 planes per bomber squadron.
Our victory is in sight. Group 2, awaiting instructions. Group 2, returning to ship. Group 2, we're under attack. Group 5, ready for takeoff.
Dropping bombs manually can be very effective if done right. Notice how I adjust the angle from where the bombers approach from. Right here I select 2 squadrons for manual drops. Generally you want the tip of the impact site of the bombs just on the bow of enemy battleships, unless if they're going really slow.
Enemy battleship sunk.
There's a snowstorm happening in these clips, which is why I don't spot ships until the very last second.
Group 6, engaging enemy.
Group 3, awaiting instructions.
Group 6, returning to ship. Waypoint reached. We've destroyed an enemy battleship.
Again, notice how I adjusted the angle of the attack to get in line with the battleship. Just like killing carriers, you want to set fires, wait for the enemy to use his damage control party, then for battleships, wait 20 seconds, and set fires again.
Returning to ship.
Group 3, ready for takeoff.
Group 4, taking fire. Group 4, engaging enemy. Group 4, returning to ship. Group 6, we're under attack.
Group 3, airborne.
Group 6, engaging enemy. Group 6, returning.
Group 3, we're under attack. Group 3, engaging enemy. Group 3, returning.
Group 4, taking fire.
Right here I grouped 3 bomber squadrons together for a good manual drop. Again, notice how the tip of the impact sight is on the bow of the battleship.
Group 5, approaching target.
Group 2, we're under attack.
Returning to ship. Group 4, we're under attack.
Group 3, taking fire. Our victory is in sight. Group 3 destroyed.
Autopilot mode disabled.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you learned how to play a carrier a little bit better. This is my second how-to video. What do you think about it?
Group 5, approaching target.
We've sunk an enemy destroyer.